Well, we are live and we are kicking. And how is everybody today? Just trying to get myself organized. You caught me in the act. Hello. Let me just get the screen up and going. And welcome. I'm going to do some housekeeping and then I'm going to dive into our topic for today. Make sure I am streaming where I need to be streaming. And I'm going to dive in. So tonight, I am actually not on my usual 3 platforms. I'm actually on a different one tonight. So I am streaming to start off with on my YouTube page. So I want to make sure I'm there. I am not on my Twitter page tonight. Doing things a little different. I'll share there later. Oops. I'm not on my Twitter page tonight. Why did that not lower it down? There we go. So if I look like I am distracted, just hang in there. For those who are watching on YouTube, do me a favor and hit that like button. And also go ahead and subscribe if you have not. And I think there's a little bell that you can actually set as well. So when I do go live, you'll know that I am. So I'm going to jump off of there. And then I'm going to head over to my next page. I'm going to go to my business page because I'm actually streaming on there today too. So let's just make sure I am where I need to be. And see how that works. All right, so I believe I'm on my business page as well. So those who are here with me, just say hello. Put a comment in and let me know that you are here. And when you do say hi, let me also know where you are chiming in from. And I'm going to jump off of here and move on to my actual personal page where I usually spend a lot of my time. And there I am. So if you are here with me on my personal page, like Tanya and Maribel, hello. Welcome. And take a moment just to share it out to your friends. You never know who may want to hear tonight's forecast, as I like to put it. So I'm just hollowing some folks in, and I'm going to give you my undivided attention. How about that? All right. Okay, so I'm going to stay on my personal page and see who shows up, and I will do my best to say hello as needed. So for those of you who are new to how I do this, very quickly, intro, let me just change that up a little bit so you're not seeing all the stuff around me. Anyway, for those of you who do not know who I am, Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and also the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. Super excited to be here with you this evening as I will be sharing some insight. Cosmic energy forecast for the week. Now that Saturn has gone retrograde as of yesterday, which was June 4th, you might be asking yourself, what does that actually mean? Saturn is our planet of boundaries and setting a schedule, and also our structure as well. When we think about our structure, it could be literally our physical structure that we live in, and also the structure of our own body as well. Saturn is also known for our karmic cycles and lessons that we are here to learn. Hello, Bridget. So what I'm going to do is, as I start moving along, I'm going to, at the midway point, which is usually Virgo, I will, at midway point, say hello to anyone who comes in from this point on, so I do not distract myself. And I can sort of stay on a flow, because then that keeps me moving it along, because I want to honor your time and mine as well. My goal is to keep this no more than about 55 minutes, and to get everything that I need to get in. So during tonight's forecast, I'm going to be choosing intuitively one card for each zodiac sign. So there's going to be 12 cards. You'll only have one to work with, though, based on where your Saturn is located on your personal chart. So, for example, if you happen to have Saturn in Aries on your personal chart, when I read that card for Aries, I'm going to be talking to you. Now, if you do not know where Saturn is on your personal chart. Maybe you've never looked at your personal natal chart before. This is an opportunity to listen to tonight's forecast and then at some point go over to astro.com and type in your information. And at that point, you will then have your own personal natal chart to work with. And every time, and I use the word every time, you come on to one of my live videos, have that chart handy, because I'm always 9 times out of 10, I'm going to ask you whatever I'm talking about. What zodiac sign is that particular planet in on your chart? And this way here, you can get a better understanding to what's going on for you at the time when the actual energy is amplified. So right now, Saturn is in retrograde in Aquarius energy. And as I said, I'm going to be reading the forecast for all 12 zodiac signs and giving you an understanding to what the theme is for you for this week. Now, before I do go into that, I'm doing something a little different tonight than I usually do. I want to give you some insight to, along with this week, what's going on with the moon, because our moon rotates every 2.5 days, and our moon also plays a huge role to how we are feeling about the other planets that are going on, specifically the Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. And as of right now, or should I say as of tomorrow, well, I guess I could say as of right now, for the next couple of hours, the moon is in Leo energy, which is the opposite sign of Aquarius. As of tomorrow, as of Monday through Wednesday, the moon is going to be in Virgo energy, which is about being more grounded and earth-centered. And also, when we think about being grounded and earth-centered, it is about your structure and your schedule, and it's 6th house association. So that Saturn retrograde energy may help you become more attuned and more grounded, more focused is the word I just heard, in regards for the next 3 days. Focused on what it is you are planning to do. Focus on how you want your schedule to look like, how you want your structure to look like, perhaps even reviewing patterns that you may have, and how might you do those patterns differently than you've done them in the past. After all, again, Saturn is about our karmic cycle. So after Wednesday, the moon's going to be moving into Libra energy, which is more about balancing and being able to justify the patterns that you have. And it's not so much about why you did what you did, but being able to reflect and justifying why you might do it differently this time around as opposed to what you've done in the past. So that's that Thursday through Friday energy, where you're going to be more in your head, analyzing what you've done in your past based on your patterns, and maybe trying it on differently, trying on a new way for size, so to speak, is what I just heard. So that's that Libra energy on Thursday and Friday. Then the moon, as of Saturday, is going to move into Scorpio energy, which is now a water sign, an emotional sign, and that's Saturday and Sunday, where, again, as you focus in on your patterns, your karmic lessons, it may become more emotional for you. After all, we're going to be leading up to the full moon on Monday, June 13th, which in fact, interesting enough, as we move into that full moon's energy, Mercury is going to move forward into Gemini energy, where it was when it first went into retrograde. And it's actually its home. So there could be a lot of dialogue going on, because Gemini is about communication, Mercury is about communication. It's no longer retrograde. And with Saturn being in retrograde, there could be a lot of internal dialogue going on in regards to your patterns. What were the patterns before? How might you be able to do this pattern cycle differently? What can you learn from it? And what action is going to come through with this full moon in Sagittarius energy? Because Sagittarius energy is fire. So that means action. Sagittarius is associated with traveling. Sagittarius is associated with the higher wisdom. So we're smarter now than we were maybe the last couple of times of your patterns. So how does that sound to you so far? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to take all that information that I just shared with you, and I'm now going to work with the cards. Remember, I'm going to be pulling out one card for each zodiac sign. So you only have to focus on one card. And from that point, you'll be able to work on that chakra for the entire week as the moon moves from one zodiac sign to the other and then moves into the full moon's energy, helping you to really understand your main character in your life, because you are the main character. You are the main character in your life. You get to decide the story. You get to decide if you want to play the victim role, if you want to play the courageous role, if you want to play the fear role, if you want to play the abundant role, if you want to play the magical role, you get to decide what role you want to play this week. And upon deciding, you get to take on and off the mask, the clothing that you put on to match the fit of that character. So this is a fun week of decisions, but not necessarily making a decision, just being able to try on different costumes, shall we say, to decide what you've learned about yourself during the Saturn retrograde. So how the cards work, if in case you are new to this whole cosmic energy forecast, the weekly forecast, in each card, there are 3 elements, and each element are, one element is color, which is associated with your chakras. The other element's a number, which is associated with all of the planets collectively, and also the number in regards to numerology, where it provides the hidden message. And then we have an affirmation that you can use for 2 reasons. You can use that affirmation to help raise your vibration. You can also use that affirmation to add to the story for this week. So let's see what's going on. We're going to start with Aries, and I will be putting the card back into the pile once I've completed with that zodiac sign, and it's possible that card can show up again in a different zodiac sign. But noting, if you really want to, you can pay attention to all the zodiac signs. You can go back and look at your chart, and you can take a peek to see where each of these zodiac signs are on your chart, and really do some serious spiritual work this week by clearing your chakra system if you choose to. Otherwise, for right now, tonight, we're focusing on the Saturn energy in retrograde, and we're going to work on that one chakra to help clear the energy so you can really get more divine interventions this week regarding what you want to learn from your patterns. All right, so again, we're focused on Aries energy. When we think about Aries associated with the Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, that puts you in your 11th house energy. So it is about your community, and what we're looking at is domestic harmony. So what patterns are associated with the domestic household, and how can you bring more harmony? How can you change those patterns so you can have more harmony in your household, relating to your community, of course. 22 is a master number, which means a master builder. This is your week to work on building something. I like to say, building a new way of these patterns, changing the patterns so you don't have to keep repeating them. But do understand that when we do have a karmic lesson that we've come here to learn, you're going to have layers and layers and layers to constantly peel off in regards to those patterns. So you may find yourself literally saying, I felt like I've done this. I felt like I've done this work already. You have done the work. You just have another layer to push through, which is why you're the master builder. You are constantly building and rebuilding with the Saturn retrograde. So do not get frustrated. Now let's talk about the throat chakra. After all, by this weekend, the 13th, Mercury is going to be moving back into Gemini, which is a favor. It loves to be in Gemini. It's the ruler. So communication can become a little easier for you, where you'll be able to connect with your community and communicate at a much stronger point, but also build a different community as well, and expressing and creating this new community. So Saturn in retrograde this week for you, Aries, is a very promising time in reference to bringing more harmony into your household, because you are in the process of reestablishing yourself in your community, a different group of people altogether. So it's an opportunity for you to wear a different mask, and maybe be a little magical. All right, so that's Aries energy. Now, what I want to do before I move forward is I want to make sure I plug in my laptop, because I often forget to. So hang in there a sec as I'm plugging. Now we're going to move into Taurus energy. Taurus energy. All right, so Taurus energy. There's a lot of planets in your sign right now. So with, of course, Saturn going into Aquarius, it is really about doing your soul's work. What are you here to do this week? What's your soul's work? And how will you be able to utilize this amazing energy? So your card, interesting enough for Taurus, it's all about financial abundance this week. After all, it's your soul's work. When we think about it, as Taurus, if you have Saturn in Taurus right now, this is, and that's so funny because I believe my Saturn's in Taurus. So this is a week for financial abundance. This is a week for you to focus on financial abundance. This is your week that sets the energy for bringing in financial abundance in a different way. But you get to use your third eye to begin to create that. Now the number 17 is 8. So this is really about letting go of the old patterns of how you used to see money. Letting go. This is just so appropriate for me. I hate to be selfish about this, but this is really about letting go of the old ways that you've done business. So whatever way, if you work for yourself and you have Taurus in your energy right now, if you work for yourself, this is a great week for you to really start visualizing how you can create and attract financial abundance in your life in a whole different way based on that 8 energy. And using this week's moons to help you, especially that Sagittarius moon, the full moon, where you can really start to travel in a different way. Now, traveling means that you might actually literally be traveling to different locations for financial abundance, or you might be just traveling your mind as well. But that 8 energy is about letting go of the old ways of how you attracted money and be open to some new ways of attracting money. And maybe even for that matter, get in the habit of asking your guides for support. Literally putting it out there and saying to you guys, I'm open to attracting financial abundance in a whole different way. And see what happens this week. Remember, you're the main character in your story. And you get to try on different outfits and different masks and see which one best fits you. So this is your week to let go of the old ways of attracting financial abundance and start bringing in a new way. Because as you bring in a different way that's more aligned to you, you're going to actually feel more at ease having financial abundance flowing in. So that's Taurus energy. I love that. After all, Taurus, you are all about relationships. And this is a really great week. All right, moving into Gemini. And Geminis, you got a lot of energy going on. As I mentioned, as of the other week, June 13th, Mercury is going to move back. Or should I say move forward into your sign, which is going to be really comfortable for you to communicate and to maybe be able to express yourself regarding those patterns that you have going on. Maybe you'll be able to have a conversation. Let's see what goes on for you guys. What chakra do you need to work on during this week's Saturn retrograde energy? Very interesting. Now, I know I've said that cards could repeat itself, and here we have it. Just as we had in Aries energy, now we have it in Gemini energy, domestic harmony. And because it is the throat chakra, it's so appropriate for you Geminis. This is a really great week for you to focus on bringing more harmony into your household, bringing more harmony into your home. And when we speak about home is your body as well. So when we have more harmony in our shelter, we also have more harmony in our body as well. Recognize that 22, this is your week to be that master builder, to be the person that's going to build something within your home, whether it's your actual shelter where you're at home or building something within your business, in your job. Whether you own your own business or not, this is a week for you to be that master builder and to use the Saturn energy to help you along with that. Love that, love that, love that. I just want to check out something. And also for you Geminis, this is with the Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, this is a time to move into that space of traveling and tapping into your spiritual wisdom as well. Could be a really great time to get aligned with social groups too for you Geminis. Bringing more, again, you're building something. You're working on building something. You're not going to complete the process of building it, but you are working on building something this week and using the moon's energies to move you along. Where after all, Monday through Wednesday gives you that opportunity to get grounded, to stay in connection with the earth so you can make really good decisions this week. And being able to justify it by time we do move into that Thursday, Friday energy where it makes sense to you as you are building something. Love that. All right, Cancers, let's see what's in store for you. What's patterns are you working on this week? How do you see them? And what will you be ready to let go of? So let's see for Cancer. All right, so I'm loving it. So Cancer, for you, very similar, throat chakra activity. So there is a conversation that you're going to be having. You're going to be engaging in a conversation. This may be an opportunity to have conversations with the different people you want to chat with in regards to your patterns, where you get to say what you need to say, something that you might not have done in past experiences. Remember, Saturn is all about our karmic cycle. Saturn is also about excuse me. Saturn is also about setting boundaries. So this might be an opportunity for you to engage in a conversation about having a boundary. That 2-7 is 9, which is about letting something go. So perhaps this could be related to work, where you're going to set a boundary with specific hours at work, where you're no longer going to find yourself working more than X amount of hours, so you can have a boundary. That 9 energy is about a transformation. It's also about surrendering. So what will you engage in this week that will definitely help you be in alignment to your karmic cycle? And what do you need to say? What do you need to say? Rather than not saying anything, what do you need to say? It's also a really good time to start listening. That 9 energy is associated with that Sagittarius full moon. And that full moon is all about helping you to really allow yourself to travel and be in spiritual wisdom. Travel in your mind, and there also might be traveling in general. But what are you engaging in this week? Using all the energies we have going on leading up to that full moon and allowing you to really become, what's the word I'm looking? Evolving. Going to evolve into the Saturn retrograde energy of setting boundaries, being able to recognize your patterns, recognizing what you've learned from the patterns, and recognizing the new layer you're pushing through as well. So you're definitely engaged in your pattern setting and seeing it all differently. Literally looking in a mirror and seeing yourself different as well. Major transformation going on for Cancers this week. You're going to look in a mirror today, and by that full moon, you might actually look in the mirror and be like, I look a little different, spiritually speaking, because you're evolving. You're letting go of the old version of you and allowing yourself to really move in and engage in this new version of you and doing things a lot differently than you've done in the past. All right, we have Leo. As I said before, right now the moon is in Leo energy, and Leos, just so you do know, because Saturn is in retrograde in Aquarius, which is your opposite sign, you may very well be doing a lot of reflecting on some of your patterns going on. But thank goodness, as the moon moves out of Leo, you're going to get a little more grounded. You won't feel as though you have to do everything like right now, because you don't. You'll have time to ground yourself. You'll have time to justify whatever it is you need to justify. Then you'll have time to like really feel what it is you want to do. But still, not time to take action just yet. Just really like pulling out the outfits from the closet, trying it all on, and seeing what really fits for you. So let's see. How will Saturn work for you? What chakra? Clarity. By the full moon, by the time we hit that full moon in Sagittarius, you may very well have some clarity. Doing everything you need to do this entire week, working with that Virgo energy where you get grounded, moving into that Libra energy where you are contemplating, but then you really move into that Scorpio energy where you move down into your heart and you really start to weigh it out. Then you use that Sagittarius moon along with the Mercury going forward into Gemini to gain some clarity. You're going to have a lot of support from spirit to guide you and support you in your clarity. It's very important to stay into your heart chakra. Stay in your heart chakra so you can feel more compassion, kindness, and more joy as you gain more clarity. Each and every day leading up to that full moon, the Saturn retrograde, the patterns that might be showing up for you, you'll have a better understanding. 2 and 9 is 11. So this is a week so you can begin to heal the relationship that you have with yourself and gain lots of clarity. So be open to that. I would recommend keeping a notebook and pen by your bedside because you may very well experience dreams that's going to provide you some major insight and clarity on whatever it is that you might be experiencing during the Saturn retrograde and the patterns that might show up for you. So I'm loving that for Leos. Love that. Virgos. Hello, Virgos. So here we are, Virgos. Here we are in your 6th house energy as we move into Monday through Wednesday. The moon is going to be right there for you, helping you to get super grounded, super focused, allowing you just to breathe is the word I heard. Then by the time we hit Thursday, Friday, you're going to be a little bit in the head, trying to contemplate, justify the different things that's going on in your life. And then by the weekend, you may be up in your emotions a little bit. You may be a little bit overwhelmed, trying to schedule it out, trying to get your boundaries, trying to organize everything. But you know what? Stay grounded. Use that Monday's energy to keep yourself grounded and love partnership. As you do, your love partnership, your relationships, and I use the word relationships, it's going to expand. That 6, 3 is a 9, which is about that spiritual wisdom that you're going to retain this week with all this energy that's coming in. It's also about communication. So when we think about love partnership, it doesn't have to necessarily be the intimate relationship itself. It could also be partnerships that you have with others, with your siblings, with your parents, your friends, whatever it is. But that 9 energy is about a transformation, a completion, something you're going to be saying. That again, from Monday through Wednesday, you have that earth energy where you're going to be able to focus. By Thursday, Friday, you're going to be more in that intellectual state where you're going to be looking to understand the justifications to the things that's taken place, and then drop down into your heart where you'll be able to be more emotional, and then move it up into your throat where you'll be able to actually speak it out. And using that full moon's energy, which is in Sagittarius, which is associated with the 9th house, which is allowing you to speak from a more spiritual wisdom perspective. So speaking and listening this week. Love that for Virgos. All right, we are halfway through. So I just want to give a shout out to anyone who's popping in right now. If you are here, please say hello. I'm not seeing all comments. So if you are here and I have not seen that you popped in, please just say hi so I know that you're here. And this way here I can see your comments. I do see that we do have 3 people on, yet I only see 2. But in any case, moving into Libra energy. So again, Libras, when we think about it, you guys are in your 5th house energy, which is the Saturn retrograde energy, is really about helping you to find some change this week. Change in reference to looking over your patterns and allowing yourself to Use your creativity to change things up. And the moon will be in your sign by Thursday, Friday. So between now through then, just allow yourself to really get out into nature so you can have that balance you're looking for and be able to really understand what it is that you do need to change. Now, remembering, as I mentioned before, this is not a week necessarily to actually take action to change anything. This is really the week of just allowing yourself to review. So whatever is going to show up between now right to the full moon, it's really about opening up your closet, pulling things out of the closet, trying it on, see how it fits, see if that's the character you want to play for the week. Remember, you are the main character in your story. And if you want to be courageous, be courageous. If you want to be fearful, be fearful. If you want to be sad, be sad. You get to decide. If you want to be angry, allow yourself to be angry. You get to decide whatever it is you want to be. You want to be magical, be magical. So let's see what one chakra can help you set the tone for what it is you're going to be experiencing. Hello, Andy. So for you, Libras, this is about a career change, a career change. So perhaps during this Saturn retrograde, it may actually help you in regards to the patterns that you have regarding your career. You know, maybe you're in a habit of staying in a job way too long and not being fearless enough to walk away. So this energy this week is going to help you with your career. There could very well be a career change on its way. Doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. It means that you're going to be processing. And I want to also say hello to Arlene and Susan that just popped in as well. So this week is about processing that career change. Now, if you are looking to have a career change, your third eye is where you get to start that activation. You can visualize what it is you wish to be doing, where you no longer have to stay in the same pattern routine. With Saturn being in retrograde, it gives you the opportunity that if you want your schedule to be a certain way, this is your time to start focusing on that. That 7 energy, right along with Libras, it is about justifying and bringing more balance into your life. So if you really want more balance, where you only really want to work that, let's say that 4-hour week, as so many do, then go ahead and create that into reality. See how that feels for you in that 7. Find that balance. You are the creator the same way you are the main character in your story. Get to use all the energy and then use that Sagittarius full moon by the weekend to start creating. Let go of the old version, let go of the old patterns, and begin that process. Remember, this is a week for processing, not doing. So there's not going to be any major action. I mean, there may be some of you who might actually start to see some action happening, but this is really the week of just revisiting those patterns and utilizing all this moon energy to help you get to where you have to go. So by next week, many of you may start to see some action happening. So that's Libra energy. This is about change this week. This is about using your creativity. This is about being courageous enough so you can change your career. Love that for Libras. Libras. Hello, Hallie. How are you? Haley, rather. All right, I'm loving that there's so many of you here. If you are here and I have not read your zodiac sign yet, please note that what I am focused on tonight is I am reading the insight for Saturn's retrograde that happens to be in Aquarius. I am giving some additional insight to where the moon is going to be this week because that moon is very powerful because we are leading up to a full moon in Sagittarius energy, and the moon's energy prior to that full moon is really powerful because we start off Monday to Wednesday with the moon in Virgo, which is an earth sign. So it allows us to really be focused on these patterns that might be showing up for you. After all, Saturn is about our karmic cycles. It's also about boundaries. And our karmic cycles, our patterns may surface. After all, we have to peel another layer of that pattern. So I'm up to Scorpio right now. So those of you who are Scorpio that have Scorpio in Saturn, you do need to go and check out your actual personal astrology chart so you know exactly where Saturn is on your chart. Once you know that, where Saturn is, then you can actually come back to this video and check out what zodiac sign is in Saturn on your chart. So right now I'm talking about Scorpio in Saturn, combining it with that collective energy of Aquarius, which the collective energy is about the fourth house, which is about home. It's about family. It's about our relationships. It's about that connection that you have with your mother. And maybe there's a pattern there that you might want to work on in that relationship, or who you see as a mother, or the things you're mothering for that matter. And as I mentioned, by the weekend, the moon will be in Scorpio energy. So there could be a lot of emotions flaring up at that point. So pay attention. And that full moon will help you really work on some of those patterns, perhaps doing it in a different way. So for Scorpio, it's about compassion. And that makes so much sense because, again, being that connected collective energy of Aquarius and Saturn, this is about your fourth house. This is about home. So you want to be compassionate. You want to be compassionate to yourself, and you want to be compassionate to those who live in the home with you. But also when we talk about home, we're talking about your body as well. You want to be compassionate to your body. Love on your body. Third eye. This is where you get to visualize. This is where you get to recreate. So if there is a pattern showing up this week for you, and the first thing you're going to want to know is what have I learned from this pattern from the past that is showing up now? It's a new layer. It's not the same layer from before. It's a new layer. How can I do this differently than I've done it before? You get to see that. See it from a different view rather than the eyes on your face. That 4 and 9 is back to your 4, which is really about your foundation. 4 is about your foundation, where you're going to build your foundation in a different way this time around. So having new boundaries and recognizing the pattern, seeing the pattern, patting yourself on the back for accomplishing and learning something about your patterns. We all have patterns. Every one of us have a pattern of something. And those patterns show up. They're part of our lessons to help us become the version of who we are meant to become. But if we keep repeating the same old story, but we're never learning anything from it, we don't learn and we don't move into the next layer. So it's really important to recognize the pattern, recognize that it's different than it's been before, or maybe it still looks the same, but you're different. So be compassionate to yourself as you go through this process this week. And as I've said before, this is not about massive change this week. This is really about reviewing, opening the closet, pulling out the different outfits that you want to try on day in, day out, and decide which one fits you better, what character you want to play this week. And maybe one of the characters will be compassion. You want to be compassionate to yourself this week because there's going to be a pattern that's going to show up based on, when we think about it, fourth house is a pattern that you have as a mother, as that feminine energy, with your mother for that matter. So this is a week, this is your week to be compassionate, magical maybe, courageous maybe, and maybe even to the point where you allow yourself just to surrender the old ways of doing things and see yourself in a whole different light. Love that for our Scorpios. Remember when we talk about that mother energy, it's also that feminine energy. So it could be a girlfriend, it could be a sister, it could be an aunt, it could be a daughter. Doesn't have to be specifically to a mother, but just female energy. And also for you guys out there, it could also be your feminine energy as well. So I want you to note that. All right, moving into Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius, this is going to be an interesting week for you guys because, again, that full moon coming in by the weekend is going to be in your sign. So a lot of emphasis there. And I'm so excited that by the time we get to that point, I'll be doing a full moon cosmic forecast to let us all know what we're going to be doing there. So for you guys are in your third house, which is about your community. It's about creating. It's about communication, networking, brainstorming, but also recognizing your boundaries when you are there, recognizing the karmic cycles that might show up for you, recognizing what it is you want to say, what it is you want to listen to. So you Sagittarius, pay attention this week. And very simple, as with everybody else, Monday through Wednesday, it's a time when you get to ground your energy. It's a time when you get to reflect as you move into that full moon. So let's see what one chakra is going to come in for you. Interesting card. In reverse. Okay, so here we have it. When we have a reverse card, and I think it's the first card to show up in reverse so far for Sagittarius. An interesting night of Sagittarius. When a reverse card shows up, it means we definitely want to pay attention to the message, but we also want to really work on the root chakra. That's that color, red, root chakra. Being that this full moon this weekend is in your actual sign, that means, yes, this Saturn retrograde is definitely going to help you complete a karmic cycle. The Saturn retrograde is going to help you complete a karmic cycle. So if you have Sagittarius in Saturn, please pay attention to this. Recognize there's something new coming in. Recognize you are going to be doing something a little differently with this pattern than you've done in the past. I want you to pay attention to that. I want you to see if you can even notice that new thing you're going to be doing differently than you've done in the past. Use that moon energy from Monday to Wednesday to allow yourself to be in that space of being grounded. And then allow yourself to float right to that Thursday, Friday moon of Libra where you can justify that new way of doing what it is you're going to be doing. Very important to stay grounded this week. If you are not grounded this week, you are going to find yourself being very overwhelmed by the pattern that's coming up, and you may very well miss the opportunity of doing it differently, which is why the card's in reverse. So Sagittarius, please, please, please ground your energy, get out into earth, pick up a rock if you need to, keep that rock with you to help you stay grounded, because by time the moon literally moves into that Sagittarius full moon, along with the day before where Mercury moves into Gemini, there's going to be a lot of dialogue going on for you, and you really, because again, you're in your third house energy with that the collective. It really is about communication. Lots of things coming in, verbal communication and listening, because you are on your way to complete a cycle. But it could be overwhelming if you don't stay grounded. So please do just that. All right, into Capricorn. So those of you who have a Capricorn Saturn energy, this is for you. So you Capricorns, excuse me as I sit and read notes, you guys are in your second house. So this is about your partnerships. This is about your relationships. Hello, Norma. So Norma, just because you're hanging in there now, coming in, I am focusing on the Saturn retrograde, and I am now on Capricorn. So if you happen to have Saturn in Capricorn on your chart, this is going to be you. If you do not, you may have to come back and rewatch from the beginning to find out what zodiac sign Saturn is on your chart. So Saturn Capricorn energy comparing to the collective is second house, which is about relationships. It's about our partnerships. It's about how we value ourselves. Remembering that Saturn retrograde is about boundaries. It's also about our patterns, our karmic lessons, and learning about them during this retrograde period. So let's see what we have in store for Capricorn. And for you Capricorns out there, there's a lot of energy in your sign in that Pluto retrograde right now too. So I'm sure you're feeling a lot of transitioning going on for you. All right, so for you Capricorn Saturns, your card's also in reverse. Interesting enough. Let's turn it up right. So this is a week for self-love. This is a week for self-love because, again, second house energy with that collective energy right now. This is your week to make sure you give yourself love. Do not look for love from other people. You got to love yourself. You got to love on you. Fill yourself up with love. And as you do, you're going to be more open to receiving love from others. Recognize the patterns that show up for you this week. Allow yourself to review. That 7-3 is 10, which is associated with your 10th house, which is exactly where it is. This is about what you came here to do, your soul's purpose, your soul's mission, your soul's contract. But very important to stay in a space of self-love. You have to love on you this week. When you do that, you're going to find yourself being easily grounded. And considering Monday to Wednesday, Moon's in the Virgo energy, so it helps you to get grounded, helps you to stay in that grounded place. After all, Capricorns, you guys are also earth signs, so it's really important. Root chakra, self-love this week. 10 energies, your soul's purpose, your soul's mission to why you're here on this earth. And with Saturn in retrograde, this is your week to really start evaluating, bring more self-love in. Remember, all zodiac signs, this is not a week of really doing in reference to fulfilling your patterns, but this is definitely a week for you to start contemplating and trying on the different outfits, because you are your main character in your story. So try on as many outfits as you can. Self-love is definitely one of those outfits you want to try on this week. Remember, your cards in reverse. So if you do not give yourself love this week, this may be a very challenging week for you. A lot of people may walk all over you. So love on yourself for those who have Capricorn in Saturn energy. Moving into Aquarius. Now, Aquarius, here you have it. Saturn is in your actual sign. This is about your when we think about it, the first house energy, this is about self. This is about self. And how you feel about self. Now, again, when you look at your chart, also take note on your chart what house your zodiac sign's in. Now, that's going a little more intensified, and that's really personalized as well. So if that was something that you'd want to know how that really plays a role, I'm giving the collective energy. But if you want to know the personal energy to how that house plays a role, that's an opportunity for you to reach out for a private reading. But anyway, Aquarius, as Saturn is in your sign, boundaries, patterns, you name it, it's all about self. Let's see what chakra you need to work on this week. That's going to be in your favor to really better understand what's going on. Also in reverse, transformation. So this is definitely going to be, again, one of the outfits you're going to try on. You're going to try on the outfit of transformation. See if you are ready to transform through one of your patterns. The major pattern, again, as I said earlier, we all have patterns that we go through. There's usually, as I like to say, there's usually one major pattern, one major karmic cycle that we experience. And with that karmic cycle, it's layers and layers and layers. There could be 100 different layers to that karmic cycle that you get to work through. And you are the main character this week. So you get to decide if you want that character to be transformational. Do you want to transform this week? Working into your solar plex energy, where you get to allow yourself to really trust and have faith that you are transforming. You are not going to repeat this pattern again. You're not going to do the same things you've done 20, 30 years ago. There's a major transition going on here. 1 and 8 is that 9. This is really connected to that full moon that's coming in by the weekend, where you get to explore, you get to travel, you get to use your spiritual wisdom that you have developed over the years so you can have a transformation this week. Remember the cards in reverse. So allow yourself to trust that solar plex energy, trusting, feeling more safe and secure within your own energy. Remember, though, that this is not a week of action. This is a week of trying things on and getting ready. After this full moon, as of next weekend, then there's going to be more action going. But try on that outfit of transformation and see how that looks for you Aquarius. All right. Last but not least, Pisces. So those of you who have Pisces in Saturn energy, this is about your 12th house. This is about literally tying up the loose ends. Using this entire week to really evaluate whatever patterns are showing up. Evaluate how you want to reset your boundaries. Allow yourself to be in that space to explore and use your spiritual wisdom. After all, as Pisces, you carry all 12 energies, all 11 energies, including your own, that spiritual wisdom. So let's see what's in store for you, Pisces, and what you're going to be tying up this week, what outfit you want to wear, trying it on, and see if you can use your spiritual magic to really push through and transform into a different version of you. One more shuffle. Here's your card. Love it. So Pisces, this is your week for change. So perhaps you might want to wear a change this week. You might want to go into the closet and change. Do something totally different than you've done before. Perhaps that change can come from how you communicate. What is it you need to say? What is it that you have to say? And remember the needing and have to, or needing or want to. When we want something, it's just a want. When we need it, it's like life or death. So be ready to prepare and examine. Do you need to say what you want to say? Or do you just want to say it? Or perhaps it's time to sit and listen. Listen to your higher self. Listen to the guidance. Be aware that you have a team that's guiding you and supporting you on this mission this week. That five is all about the change that's coming in. Being courageous enough to step into this and recognize that you have a karmic cycle. And this karmic cycle is a pattern. You have multiple layers to this pattern. Be courageous enough to change. And as you do, you're going to find that your creativity becomes more powerful than ever as you are more courageous to changing. And remember, just like everybody else, this is a week for just trying on different outfits. Those outfits could look like change. It could look like transformation. It could look like karmic cycles. It could look like happiness. It could look like fierce, whatever it is, but try them on and see what really works for you. And be ready to make that change as we end the week in that full moon's energy. So that was very powerful. I'm loving it. So that was your 12 zodiac signs. I would love to know at the end of this week how this energy lands with you. What did you try on this week? What fit better for you this week? And what are you willing to do? What boundaries are you willing to set? What karmic cycles are you experiencing? What patterns are you seeing and understanding what you've learned from the pattern? Because that's really the most important part about our patterns, is recognizing what you've learned and how you are becoming a different version of yourself. So I love it. For those of you who are watching with me on my Facebook page, my personal page, I would love for you to leave comments. If you're watching on my business page, same thing, leave some comments. If you are watching on YouTube, feel free to leave an email. Love to hear from you. That email is healingwithin76@gmail.com. And remember, guys, this is a week of just reviewing, trying on different outfits, and allowing yourself to be in the energy of the moon this week, allowing yourself to ground yourself. Then you're going to justify, you're going to look for balance, then you're going to drop down into your heart so you can feel the emotions of these patterns. And then you're going to literally move into that beautiful energy where Mercury moves forward into the Gemini, where you're going to be able to communicate better. Dialogues are going to be a lot easier. And that good old full moon in Sagittarius is going to help us really explore and use our spiritual wisdom this week. All that being said, thank you so much again. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. Super excited to share this insight with you. And I do look forward to sharing some more next week. But till then, have a great, great rest of the week. Enjoy this amazing energy and happy Saturn Retrograde.